Okay guys, Kilimanjaro to coast. This is another conservation through tourism project and tying into the bigger picture of biodiversity conservation. What is our next project? So we started with Serengeti Show Live, and thanks everyone for watching. It was a huge success, and now it's time for the real work. So Kilimanjaro to coast is aimed at funneling tourism numbers or tourists from Kilimanjaro, because that is kind of a big magnet. You know, we have 50-70,000 people a year that visit Kilimanjaro National Park. For those guys to go to Mkomazi National Park, which is literally 40 kilometers away, you know, that park is really struggling. There's some lovely rhino and wild dog in that park, but as looking at the bigger Tsavo Mkomazi ecosystem, the Mkomazi side is really the water source for that whole Tsavo east and west ecosystem. And as we all know, that is a huge elephant sanctuary and one of the biggest sanctuaries for elephant in East Africa, and really worth looking after. So without the North Pare Mountains and the water that comes through Mkomazi flowing into Tsavo, you know, that ecosystem will really be under strain. So there's really enough reason for us from a conservation point of view to look after that ecosystem as a stronghold for elephant and rhino and other species. But from a habitat point of view, you know, the Pare Mountains and the Usambara Mountains, the Eastern Arc Mountains is described as the Galapagos of East Africa, and there's so many different species of fauna and flora that is really worth protecting. And just from a bird life, we're looking at about 30 endemics. There are more trees just in the Usambaras and a biodiversity species point of view than in the whole of Europe and North America. So we're looking at incredible biodiversity. So Mkomazi, the Usambara Mountains, really we are now on borrowed time to create enough value for that national park and for that ecosystem to survive. And now the time is really upon us to decide and make a decision. Are we going to save this ecosystem? Are we going to visit this park? Because that is the cheapest way of conservation, is to actually just go from Kilimanjaro on this journey through rural Tanzania and then into Mkomazi, where you can really have an incredible experience if you just plan it right, and from there to end on the Tanzanian north coast and have your beach experience there, where there's lovely properties that are also involved in conservation and marine conservation. So this whole journey as a tourist would be a conservation journey. You would be part of conservation, the conservation process. Your money would go directly into the efforts of conserving the Mkomazi Tsavo ecosystem and those elephants. And when you end up at Fishergill Point, it would be your presence there creates the value that that coastline needs, you know, for us to have that marine conservation value there. And so you as the tourist, you are vitally important in this cycle of conservation, to come and visit these places and to create the value for government, for the private sector, and also for the people that live around Mkomazi and the North Tango coast and the Usambara Mountains, you know, so that there's enough reason for the everyday guy on the street that are struggling these days to get their kids to school, for them to have enough reason to look after these places. And so that's our mission. We're starting to film pretty soon, and we have some incredible people behind this project and incredible partners that we will slowly introduce to you. But these are all people that have an invested interest in conservation and biodiversity conservation, and these are people that all know that without these areas everything will collapse around us. And So we want to ask you to get involved. Get in touch. There are many ways for you to be part of this project, this Conservation Through Tourism drive, and the next series, Kili to Coast. And of course, we will bring to you 15 episodes of incredible content to showcase the beauty of Tanzania and the Eastern Circuit, and prepare for some fun. We're going to show you some rhino and elephant. We're going to start on the Kilimanjaro and show you the roof of Africa, and we're going to climb it with some incredible people. Cuthbert Swai, an old friend of mine, and he's a mountaineer, and we've climbed some mountains together. So we'll start from Kilimanjaro, venture through the countryside of Tanzania and into Mkomazi National Park, and from there go straight into the north coast, the North Tango coast on the northeast coast of Tanzania, and from there we will visit all those little forest reserves and show you these endemic birds and biodiversity. So we're really excited. Please support this project. Please support conservation through tourism, and let's bring the private sector and the conservation community closer together. Thanks, guys.